everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Imaginary Boys. I am one of the two hosts, Mr. Habanero, and I have a secondary host who is big, beautiful, and all about that sweet, hot booty. Mr. Lettuce, how are you doing, buddy?
Booty.
Mm-hmm.
Precious, precious booty.
Indeed. How are you doing, man?
I am doing okay.
Yeah?
Just going through the holiday stuff at work.
Oh, that's right. Holiday season is like the worst for you at your job, huh?
Actually, the lead up to it is worse, is the bad part for me.
Yeah, but once the holiday occurs, it gets easier, right?
Yeah, like right now, I'm probably not traveling till the end of the year.
Oh, okay, that's not so bad.
So I'm going to be stuck in my apartment for the next month and a half.
Right.
But hey, I got a comfy office, so we're good.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah, I'm trying to I have some work related struggles right now, so I'm trying to get that all figured out. I might have to find like another job depending on what's going on because I'm worried about how reliable the job I just recently took is. So we'll have to see, man. I feel it. I'm feeling it. But other than
One
that,
of those things.
Mm-hmm.
One of those things that you have to worry about with being a gentleman of the night is when it's cold outside. Your clientele have a tendency to kind of freeze dry up.
Right. Yeah.
That's why you supplement your income with OnlyFans.
You made me an OnlyFans account, and I keep wondering if I should actually utilize it at some point. I actually thought about it the other day. I was like, didn't he set me something up like that?
Yeah.
Maybe I should use it. Maybe I should. Maybe I should finally join the dark side.
Yeah, pickle-related content.
Pickle fans. Only pickles. That's
only
like
pickles.
That's a thing that Cinder's obsessed with. He doesn't even eat pickles! He doesn't even eat pickles. Come on, man.
But you do.
I do eat pickles. They're delicious. I need to buy
slamming that gherkin straight down your throat.
Absolutely. I need to buy a new jar of pickles. I ran out.
Oh, man.
I know.
So all you Patreon subscribers, you're going to have to up your ante a little bit. We got to keep our boy in pickle juice.
Come on. All I need to do is I need to be able to make at like if I can make like 1,000 a month off of like internet content, I will just be set. I won't even care anymore. I mean, I would probably have to make a few extra hundred, but man, that would be the freaking bee's knees. Like the day that I can just be like, my rent is paid this month because of the internet content I make. That'll be just I will be genuinely just unbelievably ecstatically happy. That would make my life.
Yeah, no. I mean, my rent gets paid because I sit around my apartment and occasionally boink my wife.
That sounds so nice, man. I'm jealous.
Well, I mean, there's also the whole driving freaking hours a day.
That's true.
Occasionally.
That I'm not jealous of. I hate driving.
Yeah.
I hate it. It's the worst.
Me too, but this was my chosen profession. It's my calling. It's what I'm good at. It's the only thing I can do.
You know, I had a really weird realization the other day. It was when I was doing my like not today's stream, but like because I've been doing Skyrim streams. It's not the stream that I did today, but when I did yesterday's stream, I had the weirdest like realization because like so I've been like really like struggling and kind of like depressed about some stuff. Just like really and like the stuff that I've been like really upset about is like really dumb and stupid. So like I've just been really down and hard on myself personally, and like, you know, when you get those thoughts where you're like, God, I'm so like dumb and stupid and everything sucks, and like I was having a thought process like that. And for like,
I get that all the time.
yeah, I was dealing with that. Yeah, go ahead.
Sobriety's a bitch.
Yeah, I was dealing with those kinds of thoughts on and off for like quite some time, and it was really weird because I was like thinking, I was like, I'm not. I feel like I'm not like really good at anything, and like whenever I try to do something, like I'm just not very good at it, no matter how hard I try. And when I did the Skyrim stream that I did yesterday, I came out of it and I was like, I am to my core genuinely happy. Like this is like exactly like what I love doing. I feel absolutely amazing. And the thing is too is that like so I play Skyrim by myself too. So like I never get
Yes,
that
I could
feeling.
tell.
Well, yeah, obviously. I play Skyrim by myself and I never feel that way when I'm playing by myself. But like when I'm streaming, like when I'm in front of like a group of people and I'm doing something like live in front of people, I feel so good. Like it feels so amazing. And I'm like, this is like what makes me happy. And I started kind of thinking to myself, like, even if I can't like be a full time streamer or video maker as a career or anything, if I can just continue to like get myself to do it as like a hobby, like this is what makes me happy and I need to like try and keep up with it, you know? So, and it was just a weird realization because like I said I was so like upset and down on myself, and like even like cuz I was streaming today too and I came out of it, I felt amazing at the end. Like I felt like I still am like kind of like coming off of like the high. It's been like hours since I was streaming last, and I'm still coming off of the high of like feeling amazing from just, having a good time with a bunch of people that care about me and that I care about as well. And I really want it to be like my full time career, but like as long as I have the ability to just do it as a hobby, like as long as I will always have the free time to like sit down and like, live stream, like that, just that alone will make me happy. So I'm trying to do it more. I'm trying to like be less like down on myself and trying to like find ways to force myself to like record material or do live streams or whatever. So
Right.
that's all I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, no, but I get where you're coming from. I get that a lot, especially lately.
Yeah. It's a hard life out there, man. You gotta do what you can to try to make yourself as happy as possible on a regular basis, because life's short, man. Life's short.
Yeah, somewhat.
Yeah. Trying to get myself to write too, and that's been a struggle. But
Xavier's been getting into storytelling.
Oh, really? That's so cool. Like, what kind of storytelling?
Just like random like stories, like make up stories.
Mm-hmm. Does he like write, or is he like typing them down, or like what's he
No,
doing?
he's just vocalizing them now, but um he's at that age to where he should probably start learning to type.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
man.
I have Family Office 365
Mm-hmm.
for my household,
Okay.
and one of the things I'm getting him for Christmas is a keyboard case for his iPad,
Right.
and I can use that to help him teach typing.
Mm-hmm.
And also, he can use Word on his iPad to write his stories down.
That's so cool. I hope he
If
gets
he's
really
so
into it.
if he feels so inclined.
Mm-hmm. Writing is so much fun, dude. It's just like sometimes it can be like a struggle trying to figure out like what you're like you have like a basic idea of what you want to write, but you don't know like the process to get from point A to like point B, you know, and that can be a struggle, but it's so much fun. It really is. So I hope he gets really into it. That's fun. Um, so you were telling me that you're really excited about Pokemon. Like there's been some updates on it, and you're more in the know than I am, and I'm kind of curious to hear what you have to say about Pokemon because when you were talking to me about it, you sounded like you were pretty excited.
Well, I have the added benefit of having other people to play Pokemon with me.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh, my household, me, my wife, my stepdaughter, and my son,
Right.
we'll all play Pokemon together potentially.
Mm-hmm.
And the co-op stuff that they kind of sort of introduced in Sword and Shield is coming back.
Okay. Like
Which,
the Digamax or Dynamax or Gigamax or whatever it's called.
yeah, well, yeah, it was called Dynamax or Gigantamaxing raid dens,
Mm-hmm.
but now it's called terrestrializing. And what it is it's a Pokemon with a gem thing on it. It's like a crystallized version of the Pokemon with a gem on its head, indicating what new type it is.
Oh, weird.
So if you have a Pikachu who now has the flying type, it's a crystallized Pikachu with crystal balloons coming off of its head.
I was about to say, does this Pikachu have balloons on his back?
Yeah, no, it has a crown of balloons off of its head.
That's kind of cute.
Or like if you want a Eevee with a water Terra type,
Mm-hmm.
it's a crystallized Eevee with a fountain crown.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I was wondering how long it was going to take for Pokemon to finally just be like, screw having like Pokemon dedicated to specific types. Now all Pokemon can be any type they ever want to be. Just pick your favorite and slap something on them, and now they're the type that you want them to be. So it sounds like they've finally done it.
Yeah, no, they're jumping that shark. Pokemon, you can catch any Pokemon in the Paldea Dex in the wild, and if it has a secret Terra type, it has that. It has the ability to change into that that type, which makes team building a little bit easier.
Right.
But it also adds a small bit, which I think, if done correctly, will add a small bit of complexity to the to battles.
Right. Okay.
Because you're like, I have a type advantage. And you're like, no, I have the type advantage.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not nearly as cool as Z moves, but
oh god, Z moves was actually really cool. That was a cool thing. That was like the one thing that I liked in Sun and Moon. Like, considering how much I hate Sun and Moon.
I'm indifferent about Sun and Moon. The thing I liked the most out of it was the introduction of regional forms.
Right.
Because it gave us a way to kind of fix we're running out of design ideas for Pokemon. We're 1,000 in. We're 1,000 in and we're starting to run out of ideas. It fixes that issue by basically allowing you to redesign existing Pokemon. And just be like, this is this region's form.
Mm-hmm.
But to be perfectly honest, I would much rather have another regional Pikachu variant than a goddamn floating ice cream cone.
You really do not like the Vanillix line, do you?
I do not.
I like the Vanillix line. They're okay. I mean, I always love to say like I'm a fan of Garbodor, so there you go. You know?
Yeah.
I love
like Garbodor. I hate Vanillux. I love Alchemy.
Oh, that's the one that's like a cake, right?
It's the one that's literally a gob of whipped cream.
Yeah, that's cute. I like that.
but it evolves by if it's in the front of your party, you can spin around and it evolves into a cake.
That's pretty cute. I like that.
And
That's
if it's
cute.
holding a certain item, that's the form of the cake it turns into.
Oh, weird. So it has like different forms? I didn't know that. I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
the alchemy. Uh, it has different alchemy has different forms and flavors
Okay.
depending on what mint it's like sweet it's holding onto.
Okay.
So yeah, it does the it does that. But the thing is I like it so much more because it's not just an ice cream cone with eyeballs. It's a fairy-like being made out of whipped cream.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
And just like one of my favorite Pokemon and one of my favorite preview Pokemon still to this point is Fido,
oh, the bagel dog or whatever.
the Bagel Pup.
Yeah, I haven't really been keeping up with all the new Pokemon that have been released. Hell, I mean, I don't even know half of the ones from Sword and Shield, so I mean, like I'm comfortable with the fact that I've given up on Pokemon. Like I'm okay. Like I stick by the
No,
idea.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I kind of wish there was a way I could put Legends Arceus in your hand.
It's not a big deal. It's all good, homie.
Well,
Um
no, it's I honestly truly believe you would love that game.
it's possible. A couple of other friends of mine that used to be really into like I have a friend that I still keep in touch with every once in a while. I don't know if he listens to our podcast, but if he does, hey, um, he loves Pokemon, and we used to play Pokemon together when we were young teenagers all the time. Um, and he was doing streams of um, Legends Arceus, and he seemed like he was really into it. So I mean, I I don't know. It's just like it's the only way that I can really explain is like I always say Sun and Moon killed it for me. Sun and Moon was like it was the actual like, and I mean I'm sure there's plenty of people who love Sun and Moon. Like I'm sure that there are so many people out there that love that game, and it's fine if you love that game, but that game just when it comes to Pokemon, that game broke me. It just I was like I didn't enjoy it. I have no attachment to it. I barely remember anything about playing it other than the things that I didn't like about it. And like I just every time I look at a Pokemon game now, all I see is Sun and Moon. Like that's all I see. I just see the game Sun and Moon over and over again. And I'm
No, I
like,
get it.
and it's just like I don't want to re-experience it. Like I mean, like and I mean it's even to the point of where like um I don't even really want to go back to my older games anymore either. And those are the ones that I love. Like I mean, I went back to Yellow and played that a little bit and gave up like halfway through. I played Heart Gold and well, I played Soul Silver a little bit again, and I gave up on that. And Soul Silver is a really complicated. I would say that Soul Silver and Heart Gold are like the most complicated Pokemon games ever made. So I kind of
Yeah,
gave up.
yeah. Gen 2 is pretty
Well, it
pretty
was
out
like
there.
it was the remake, so like it added like a bunch of things to the games as well that made it even more complicated. So I gave up on that one because I was just like it was more of like this is too complicated for me to keep playing. I can't do it. And like pretty much like one of my all-time favorite Pokemon games, which is I mean I gave up on Emerald for God's sake, and I keep thinking maybe I'll come back to it, but I've just not been feeling it. And I can't even like I mean I've thought about trying to like boot up um Alpha like Omega Ruby, and I mean I've essentially almost 100%ed Omega Ruby, so I don't even really want to do that anymore either. So it's just like I think I'm just, I've fallen out of that demographic. Like I can't really come back to it anymore. I can't. My brain is not capable of handling it anymore. Um
I get it.
yeah. And I
Uh,
mean, I love the fact that people still love it. Like that's awesome, you know. But this is
no,
not the thing that I can do anymore, you know.
I don't think I don't think without the multiplayer aspect, like the co-op, more specifically the co-op multiplayer aspect.
Right, right.
I don't think uh if Pokemon didn't have that multiplayer aspect built into it, I don't think I would like any of the last two the last two generations, or
Mm-hmm.
this upcoming one and the previous one. I don't play them without the co-op thing, because for me, battling only gets you so far, because you can only play rock paper scissors so many times
I was gonna. Oh,
before
excuse me. I was gonna ask like
before
what your
it's there.
opinion on competitive was. Like, what's your opinion on competitive? But it sounds like you kind of just told me.
I mean, it's it's a lot easier now.
Like it's easier to make like a perfect team, kind of.
Yeah, it's easier to play in the meta,
Yeah, yeah.
which is its own double-edged sword.
How so?
Uh, well, so in Sword and Shield, I was able to build, and I was basically able to, within 2 days,
Uh huh.
completely build a whatever team I wanted to build to play in the competitive ladders.
Mm-hmm.
That time. I don't feel like I did, but because it was like 2 days of like breeding, and it was like 2 days worth of breeding, and then a half a day's worth of shoving vitamins down my Pokemon's throat,
Right.
and experience candy to get them there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't necessarily. Never felt an attachment to that team like I did back in the day when I tried to be competitive,
Yeah.
because that team was the team that I literally played the game with. Those were the Pokemon. Those were the Pokemon that I ran the game with.
Right.
Whereas now it's okay. I'm just playing Pokemon. I'm just doing Pokemon battles against random people. And yes, it's about as fun to play competitive Pokemon as it is to play Magic.
Sure. Sure. I totally get
Like
that.
some of the things that you can get there, but like Magic players, especially Commander Magic players, they get attachment to their deck
Mm-hmm.
because it takes forever to craft to get a Commander deck the way you want it. So
Right.
you kind of have that investment built into it. It just I don't have it. So I like that the barrier entry into competitive Pokemon is lowered
Right.
for the people who are interested in doing that, but knowing that barrier of entry being lowered doesn't necessarily help people get into competitive Pokemon, or
So
stay into it and become like competitive Pokemon players, because it didn't work for me.
yeah, I think there's something to be said about how important it is to not make it too hard and not make it too easy. Because what you just described is like the downside
The
of
pendulum
making it,
swing the other way.
yeah, of making it too easy. And like the thing is like, so the competitive team that I built in like in my copy of Omega Ruby is one of my all-time favorite teams because I invested enough time into it. It wasn't like complicated. It didn't take me like months and months and months and months of, working on it to make it work. It took me some time. Like I want to say that to build my perfect team, it took me maybe about a month, maybe 2 months at the most. But that was like enough time where it was like it didn't feel like too much time that like it would drive me insane, but it also felt like just enough time to like invest myself into creating that team and finding importance with utilizing it, you know? So like I almost want to say that like I mean I still say to this day the last great Pokemon game was Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. But I also think that that was like the game where cuz it did have they did streamline a lot of the ability to build a competitive team where it was like it was relatively easy to do, but you still had to invest a decent amount of time into doing it. And I think that
Yeah,
the
it
time
had the
investment,
XY.
yeah,
It had the XY. It had a lot of the XY stuff in it.
yeah,
Or S did. Um, and XY, I think, was starting to get in the right way of building a competitive team.
uh-huh, yeah,
Sun Moon was kind of didn't make any progress with that, but they were trying to. I think Sun and Moon they were trying to explore uh, deviating from the gym thing,
by recreating the gym.
but then getting cold feet and was like, oh no, we can't actually ever do this.
Yeah, they can't break. The thing is like they can't break that formula because it succeeds. That's why they're scared to change that formula.
I don't know.
Which I
I'm
know,
aware.
which
I'm
is why you love Arceus so much, and why a lot of other people love Arceus is because it's different. Like it doesn't do the whole gym formula, right?
oh yeah, no, that's part of the reason. It's like the catching seems more realistic
Right,
in
right,
Arceus because you don't like because when you're trying to catch something, you typically don't run up to it and smack it in the face. And go, let's battle. You try to sneak up on it and you try to give it no way out.
right.
And that is um and that's kind of given to you a little bit by the by Arceus's catch mechanic,
Mm.
which sadly enough Scarlet and Violet will not be using.
Oh yeah, no, they have to follow the formula so that they can make the appropriate amount of money that they need to make.
I think they could. I think there is a way to do the wild Pokemon catching like Arceus does it without inside the the stream of the raising a team to go through the go through this region's gym challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a way that they could do the Arceus Pokedex progression,
Okay.
even though canonic or lore wise, there's little to no reason to do it that way. I'm actually kind of curious to see because there's apparently 3 story prongs in Scarlet and Violet. One of them is the gym challenge, which apparently you could do in any order now, which is their comfort level of breaking the gym order, or breaking the gym mechanism is just by let you do it in any order.
Okay.
We'll see how true that really is. But there's this thing called the scavenger hunt, which feels like it could actually potentially be a lot like the Pokemon research angle that Arceus was giving you.
Mm.
and I would I would kind of enjoy a reason to catch a third or fourth of a poke, or because in our normal travels we're going to come across certain Pokemon dozens of time. You know, you're in the first two or three areas, so whatever the that region's Bidoof is can't help but saunter up to you and present.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like for a way to make use of kind of that game mechanic, like because there's the trash. Everybody knows that there's a trash, like the Route One trash Pokemon that's that's actually inevitably in the first 5 routes as a super common um chance to get in the encounter table.
Yeah, every game's Rattata, right?
Yeah, every game has a Rattata.
Yeah.
I would like for there to be a reason to, actually participate in the battle with the 10th Rattata you come across.
Entice me, Nintendo. Entice me. Yeah.
I mean, it's something that we end up doing, and if the only thing we're getting out of it is meager experience points, it doesn't feel like that. But like the research aspect of Arceus,
mm-hmm.
that felt fresh. That made me want to go out and hunt Pokemon. Because I wasn't just
it was different.
Because I was, it was I wasn't just catch one of each Pokemon. It was observe this Pokemon using this move. Yes, catch this Pokemon, defeat this Pokemon. So like there was we were kind of carried on a stick through the whole. Yeah, there's a bunch of Bidoof, and you're gonna have to fight like 25 of them. But every encounter with a Bidoof had a point to it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It would be interesting if they changed up the formula and they did things different, but like I just
there's no reason to do that in a mainline game until something like Arceus sells like a mainline game.
Even if they even with the success of Arceus, I don't think that they have the balls to do it.
I don't think Arceus was that successful.
Okay, well then once again, go ahead and go back to the formula and I'm sure that'll work out just fine. Shut up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, shut up and take my money, right?
Right.
Like, but, I mean, I ain't buying it. I'm done with that formula. Like I said, I'm over it. But
so
I'm tired of buying the same game. I'm tired of playing the same game over and over again.
Oh, I would. Like I think what this did to rope me in, I mean, I was kind of priced into buying a couple copies anyway because it literally is one of the few things me and my son can enjoy together.
Yeah, I get that. That's fine.
So kind of priced into it that way. I mean, I'm responsible for buying 4 copies of the latest Pokemon Drivel, so I can't really say anything.
That's okay. That's fine, dude. Like it's different when you're a parent, right? It's different when you're a parent. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. Because I mean, like that's the thing is because like I, as an adult who recognizes like what the games are as they are, it's like I can't like justify playing those games anymore because I understand what they are and I realize that they don't entertain me anymore because I just like it's like I'm sure that if I was still like because I've been playing Pokemon games since I was a child, right? Like I'm dead serious when I say my first Pokemon game was Red version. Like I'm not lying about that. Like that game was released when I was a kid and my first copy of Red was given to me as a hand me down from like one of my cousins or something like that. Like they're like, yeah, I beat Red version. I don't want it anymore. You can have it. And so that's how I got my first copy of Pokemon Red. You know, um, but the thing is like I said, like I'm an adult now. I played up until Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. I thought Omega Ruby was great. Like I thought those games were great. Um, and then I played Sun and Moon, and I was just like, what the
Bruh.
fuck am I doing? Like, what am I doing? I clearly am not enjoying this. And every Pokemon game that's ever not been good has been basically this game, with this one being the absolute worst of all of them. And there's only a few that I can say to this day that I still absolutely love and enjoy. It's definitely not this one. I'm done with it. Like, I don't want to do it anymore. Like, I love the memories that I had of it. Like, I mean, I tried to go back and play some of the older games, but I've been so disillusioned that I can't even really enjoy those anymore either. But it's just, I'm just not I'm not the demographic anymore. Like, it's like
Oh, absolutely not.
yeah. But I mean, it's okay for you to be the demographic because, you got kids, your kids love it, which is totally makes, you were the one who said baby's first RPG. And you got, cute, adorable children who want to play, fun, easy RPGs. And that's okay. That's okay.
Fun and easy RPG.
Yeah. That's okay. But I am glad that you are somewhat interested in the new one coming out, and even though you're invested because of your children, but you personally can still find some enjoyment and something to look forward to, and that's really cool. Like, I'm glad.
Yeah. One of the things that they've confirmed is there was 2 events throughout the entire tenure of Sun and Moon, or not Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield, where they use the Terror Raid thing as a actual, like, yeah, you better have 4 players in here because this Pokemon is super hard and can't be beat otherwise.
Right. That's kind of cool.
They did 2 of them. There was an event with a level 100 Mewtwo. That, if you didn't have 4 players who knew what they were doing to actually take down that Mewtwo, you had no chance. And they also did another one like a year and a half later, like with the Zeraora.
Oh, Zorora and Zoroark.
Yeah,
those Pokemon are cool. I like those guys.
Yeah, they did one with that, but that was all they did in like the 5 years of that game. The 5 years that was the mainline game. That was the only 2 like events that they planned on pushing. They've already got 2 of them planned for the first month or 2 of the game. One of them is a level 100 Charizard.
Okay. Because everybody loves Charizard, of course.
Because you gotta have Charizard.
Yeah, obviously.
So this was a battle against a level 100 Charizard with the Dragon Terra type.
Okay.
And then there is another one, and I believe it's a level 100 Gardevoir.
Oh, of course. If you're gonna have Charizard, you gotta have the other ultimate fan favorite, the hug me harder and step on me mommy Gardevoir. I get it.
Yeah. But there's also a event planned around Eevee.
Of course, another fan favorite.
Because you can't have Eevee, because where every raid den is going to have a different Terra-typed Eevee. So you can have Eevees of all Terra types, and then you can evolve them, and then have some really cool evolutions. So if you're a fan of the evolutions, you can have like a flying type Voltion, and make your own and make your own Zapdos.
Interesting. Okay. It sounds like Pokemon games are just becoming Build-A-Bear Workshop. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, do you want a Terra type Eevee that has, fire type? Just want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to admit, uh, the effect just looks stellar.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not nearly as much of a spectacle as uh anime finishing Z move,
Right. Oh,
but
something.
your grass type Sprigatito with flowers coming out of its head
Yeah.
just looks so cute.
So you actually just reminded me of something when you brought up Z moves again. So I happen to have watched a video on YouTube recently that was talking about the rarest Pokemon to ever be released, like the like most hardest to acquire Pokemon. And obviously it named off a bunch that like some of them I've never heard of. Like some of them were like they're like, oh, only like 50 of these were released all over the world. And it's like, well, obviously, yeah, that's going to be like one of the rarest things ever. Um, but I was surprised to find out that one of the like on the list, because he named off a whole bunch that I'd like either never heard of or like I knew of, but I also knew that I didn't own them. The guy who did the video actually mentioned one that I actually owned, and I was like, that's considered to be one of the rarest Pokemon like ever to be released, really? Because I have that. In fact, a couple of my friends that got the game alongside of me have that as well. Um, so did you get Sun and Moon when it was released? Did you get the game when it came out?
No.
No. Well, in Sun and Moon, they did for when it was released, they did a special event where you could acquire a Munchlax that had some special moves that it normally didn't have. Um, and it also had like a special Z crystal as well that gave it like a unique Z power move. And I own one of those, and I didn't know until I watched the video that apparently that is considered to be one of the rarest Pokemon. Like it's like in the top, like I think like 10 or 15 or 20 or something like that. It's like in the top like group of rarest Pokemon to ever be released in the video games. And I watched that video just because I was like, oh, a Pokemon thing about the rarest Pokemon in the world. Like, that sounds kind of neat and nifty. And I watched that and I was like, oh, I own that Munchlax. I have that little guy. Well, he's a Snorlax now because I used him to play my game. So he evolved into a Snorlax. But yeah, apparently that's one of the rarest Pokemon in the entire world. And I was like, what the shit? Like, I have that. And a few of my friends have that. And they explained that it was like only released for like a couple of days and only a certain number of people that like got the pre-release game acquired it. And I was like, that's nuts. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could see that happening. Like it's it's a pre-release for a certain store, like a GameStop pre-release bonus.
Yeah.
For a code, but the players didn't know that they were entitled to the code, so the store didn't print it out.
Yeah, yeah. It could be.
Like the only the players who knew about the pre-release bonus knew enough to ask for the code to be printed.
Mm-hmm. Man, when I was into the Alpha Sapphire Omega Ruby hype, like when I was like really hyped, they did like a whole celebration where they were releasing like pretty much like almost all of the mythical Pokemon. Like not all of them, but like
Oh
most
yeah,
of them.
I remember that. Like they were just like once a day or like once a week for like half a year.
Yeah, it was
like
once a week for half a year.
Come here, get a pass for a mythical.
Yeah. When they were doing that event, I acquired one of every single one of the ones that they were releasing. Like I got all of them. I even still have their code cards. Like because I was like, well, this will be a collector item someday, maybe. So I still have like all of the code cards for all of the mythicals they released for Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby, and they're all loaded up on my game too. Um, there's only a few Pokemon on my Omega Ruby that I don't have. I remember one of the big ones is I've never been able to get my hands on a Mewtwo. Like I have a Mew. Like I actually have like two Mews. But I don't have a Mewtwo.
You have two Mews. You have two Mews, but no Mewtwo.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
I have a Mewtwo. Well, at least I did.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I gave it to my son.
I've never been able to get Mewtwo on my Omega Ruby. That's one that always stuck with me because I've tried so hard to get a Mewtwo when I was playing Omega Ruby, and no matter how hard I tried, I could never get one. But I got like I literally did have two Mews. I had like a regular Mew that was from an event, I think, and then I had a hacked shiny Mew that I didn't hack. Like I've never hacked my Omega Ruby game. What happened was me and my friends were really into Wonder Trades. So, and I used to be on Omega Ruby, I was really into breeding perfect monsters to make like a perfect competitive team. And so I would be breeding like Pokemon all day, every day for like, weeks and months and so forth. And it's like, you make all these like, pretty decent Pokemon, but they're not, 6 out of 6 IVs. They're like 5 out of 6. And you start clogging up your PC with all these 5 out of 6s that you don't need. So I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to go on to Wonder Trade and just start giving random people free 5 out of 6s, And so I would do that
Right.
like every day. And every once in a while, like, you get the classic bullshit, like some random.
Here's a Rattata.
Yeah, here's a Rattata. Here's a Wurmple. Here's, a whatever. Like, you just get all sorts of random, stupid bullshit. But the thing is like, I didn't care. I was just trying to offload my, 5 out of 6s that I was constantly breeding every day. And every once in a while, like, you would do like 100 Wonder Trades, and out of 100 Wonder Trades, you get one unbelievably spectacular monster, and you're like, what the shit? Who's giving this shit away? I acquired some mythical monsters from doing that, like legit mythical monsters. Like that's how I acquired my Diancie. Like I was doing Wonder Trades, and I got a legitimate Diancie from a Wonder Trade. But I also like got some, hacked monsters here and there. So like I got a hacked shiny Mew from doing a Wonder Trade. But I've gotten a lot of legit stuff. Like I remember getting a competitive 6 out of 6, 100% legit. Like I checked his codes and everything to make sure he was legit. And he was a 6 out of 6 IV shiny Garchomp. Like, no joke. So, like, you do those Wonder Trades, and, like, you're going to get a lot of bullshit. But, like, just, if you keep doing them, like, constantly, all day, every day, like, you get some pretty wild stuff from, like, random-ass people. Like I said, like, I got a legit Diancie from doing that. So, I got a...
The cool thing about Wonder Trades in Sword and Shield...
Yeah.
...was when the DLC came... and they opened up the decks to supported Pokemon that weren't actually in the that weren't in any of the either the main decks or any of the DLC decks.
Right.
They had like supported Pokemon that Pokemon competitive battling Pokemon was willing to support in this generation.
Mm-hmm.
So you would get some cool things in Wonder Trade. People just shuffling things off of home and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure.
That was so I can see the allure of Wonder Trade, because I know I kind of rolled the dice on that one, because one of the things that I was doing a lot was just breeding EVs.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was doing too. Like I would breed a bunch of EVs to get like a perfect competitive. Like like to get a perfect competitive Umbreon. So I would just have like a
Right.
billion EVs that I need to offload. Like I totally get
Right.
that.
So like I got, a couple of 4-6 EVs on my way to try to find a 6-6 EV with the right temper, with the right disposition. If not, you
Mm.
could mint it away now.
Yeah.
But just trying to Masuda method my way. I had a bunch of like 4 EVs, and four and a couple of 5 EVs. So I was just dumping them into Wonder Trade and seeing if there was seeing what else I could get. And yeah, there was a lot of Wooloos,
Yeah,
but
sure.
every once in a while somebody would bring over a Litten, and I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, you never know
I
what you're going
didn't
to get.
I didn't have a Litten before, and now I have one.
Yeah. I remember getting a shiny Magikarp one time and I was like, that's cool. It's a Magikarp, but at least it's a shiny one. Yeah.
I still don't understand shinies.
I mean, like, so my whole thing is I never try to go, like, there's only been one Pokemon that I've ever, like, gone way out of my way to get a shiny for. But other than that one, I've never really cared too much. Like, most of the shinies that I've come across have been, like, by happenstance. Like, whether it's, like I've gotten a lot of shinies from Wonder Trades, but also I've gotten a pretty decent amount of shinies from just finding them in the wild, and I'm like, oh, this is a thing. All right, I'll take it. I even remember the very first shiny I ever encountered. It's literally like a memory burned into my brain because it was like such a big deal. Was I was I was in middle school and I was playing gold. It was either gold or silver. It was probably silver because I think silver was the one I always played. I was playing the original second generation silver on Game Boy, and I was in middle school. And I was traveling through, like, I think I was like in Indigo Plateau, like I was in like Victory Road or something like that, and crawling through the caves, and I came across the first shiny I ever saw ever, which was a shiny Rhyhorn, which with the Game Boy graphics, it looked like it was pink. So I ended up like catching it and naming him Pinky. I don't think he's a I don't think Rhyhorn is actually, like, I think it's like a gold color now. I don't think it's actually pink anymore. But I remember so distinctly thinking that it was pink when I saw it. And like when I told my friends about it, because this was before, because shinies were first introduced in Generation 2. Um, and I remember telling my friends about it because this was before, people knew like shiny was a normal thing. And everybody told me it was a glitch and that it would break my game if I kept it. And I was like, I don't give a shit. It's a pink Rhyhorn. I'm keeping it. Like, I'm naming him Pinky. He's my new best friend. I have my pink Rhyhorn. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care what anybody says. So I didn't believe because I had so many people tell me that it was a glitch that was going to destroy my game, but I didn't believe it. And I did admit, like, I still didn't know what shinies were, so I did think it was a glitch, but I didn't think that it was going to break my game. I was like, cool, I have like a glitched Pokemon and it looks really cool, and I'm going to keep it on my game forever. But yeah, Pinky, the shiny Rhyhorn in Silver version, was the very first shiny Pokemon I ever encountered. And like I said, it was during a time when people didn't know that shinies were a thing, so it was super cool.
Yeah, I just some of the Pokemon, the shiny version looks distinctive, but a lot
Yeah.
of them they kind of don't.
Well, yeah, that's like shiny Garchomp. Shiny Garchomp
Yeah,
just looks like he's just a little paler than normal.
yeah, and I just don't get it. It's just like outside of the sparkle thing that comes out of them
Yeah, like the little ring.
at the beginning of the battle. Yeah, the star ring that comes out of them at the beginning of the battle.
Yeah.
Half of them you can't even really tell.
and then you see lime green Espeon, and you're like, what the fuck
Bruh.
is that?
But yeah, got to have that one. Umbreons,
The blue rings.
the blue rings instead of the yellow rings.
Yeah.
I mean, it's subtle, and if you don't know what you're looking for, you miss it.
Yeah.
But I liked the blue rings against the black.
Yeah. I always like the yellow rings the best, but then again, yellow is my favorite color, so.
Well, I do sing a song.
I'll kill you.
I sing a song
I'll kill you.
for you. It's called Yellow.
Yeah. Yellow's my favorite color. Well, so like the only shiny that I've ever gone way out of my way for is I had to acquire a shiny of my favorite Pokemon of all time, which I think I've told you before. Do you remember what my favorite Pokemon is? It's a weird one.
Garbodor?
Oh, no, it's not Garbodor. I do love Garbodor though. You were close though. It starts with a G. I talked about it when we did the Smashing Pumpkins episode. I did. I brought it up. Do you know why I brought it up? Like why I brought it up in the Smashing Pumpkins episode?
Because it's a pumpkin.
No. Okay, so
And the name of it just escaped me.
that's okay.
I'm a horrible friend. I really am.
Don't worry about it. It's a super stupid, obscure thing relating to Pokemon. I don't expect you to remember it. My favorite Pokemon, my number one favorite Pokemon of all time is Gorbis, which is a pink eel Pokemon from Generation 3. My favorite, like I love Gorbis. It's my favorite Pokemon. My favorite Gorbis that I've ever owned was the one that I got. I worked my ass off to get it. I literally spent months trying to get this Gorbis. I have a shiny Gorbis that is named Porcelina. And it's a beautiful... Yeah, that's why I brought it up in the Smashing Pumpkins episode. It's a beautiful, like, the thing is so first of all, pink is one of my favorite colors, but my favorite color is like yellow, more on like the gold side. And the shiny, so Gorbis is a pink eel Pokemon, and its shiny version is a golden yellow color, which is like my favorite. So it's like my favorite Pokemon of all time also has like, as a shiny, my favorite color of all time. And so my favorite Pokemon that I've ever owned, I still have it if I were to literally go and get my copy of Omega Ruby, it's on there, is my shiny Gorbis named Porcelina. And it's competitive too. It's not a 6 out of 6. It's a 5 out of 6. But the...
6 out of 6 is almost statistically impossible.
Yeah, a 6 out of 6 shiny, you mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a 6 out of, well, I mean, just a 6 out of 6 normally.
Yeah.
I don't know how they balanced it, balanced breeding before Gen 6.
That was X and Y, right?
Yeah. Before XY. It's almost impossible to get 6 out of 6 breeding at this point.
So yeah, I bred it in Omega Ruby, so it was post XY. So okay. it was easier to do so. But I didn't want to, like, it was a shiny 5 out of 6, and I was like, that's good enough. And like the stat that it was missing to be a 6 out of 6, like, didn't hinder it. It didn't need that stat. It was like a shitty stat that had nothing to do with how it played competitively, so I didn't give a crap. Okay. If I remember correctly, so Gorbis is a special attack and special defense oriented character, and the stat that it was missing was physical attack, so it didn't matter. It like legitimately did not matter.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my Gorbis is my favorite Pokemon of all time. The beautiful pink eel. And the favorite one, I literally spent months trying to like get that 5 out of 6 shiny. Like I want to say I spent like 2 months working on it, 2 or 3 months. And I did eventually get it, and I adore it. And I still have my perfect team on Omega Ruby, which I adore. It's probably I spent so much time. I spent probably at least half a year putting that team together. Like I have a lot of time and memories invested into it, and I love it. So, but yeah.
Yeah. So I like some of the new mods.
Uh huh.
I kind of wish Pokemon would stop, especially since they're not going to give us a national dex until they hit us with a season, 2 season pass worth of the DLC.
Right. I think that's
I wish
okay.
they would. I wish they would stop limiting or like stop burning um uh um like deck slots on shit like Pikachu. That's
Oh,
my that's my like unrealistic gripe
right.
about Pokemon. It's like, so they're only going to give us 200 and something Pokemon,
Right.
which I'm one of those people who who heard the explanation for why no national decks, and I was like, no, I get it.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I am
if
actually
Pokemon is moving forward and it actually cares about the competitive scene,
yeah.
if you want to control like the standard like meta for whatever that generation is, the best way to do it is just by saying you can't play that. This Pokemon's just not supported in this game.
I am
Who
pro.
cares?
Yeah, I just got to say cuz I know that this is a really controversial thing for Pokemon players. I am pro not including the national decks. And the reason why is because like I sent you a video that talked about like the problem with Pokemon. Like, do you remember that video I sent? That I thought it was so smart.
No, no, no,
Um,
no. No, I sent that video and I agree with it, and I agree with you too. I'm
yeah,
pro. I'm pro like not including it because
it's too much.
it it causes, well, a, yeah, it's too much, and b, uh if we are, slanting towards competitive play,
Yeah,
um the easiest way for Game Freak and the Pokemon Company to control that is just saying, here are the 200 Pokemon that you can here's the 200 something Pokemon that you can control now. Within a couple months we'll give you another 100, and then another month down the line we'll give you the following 100.
right.
um but just as a warning, part of that following 100 is going to be a bunch of legendaries you can't use,
True, true. Yeah,
because
it's just
that was what the second DLC for Sword and Shield was. It was just like, we love legendaries. Here you go.
yeah, yeah. I just think that like if they're going to keep on this whole thing with like we always have to make new monsters, we always have to make new monsters. They can't do national dexes anymore. Like they're going to drive themselves insane trying to like constantly program every monster into the game with all the new features and interactions and animations and all that stuff. It's so much. It's so much, and it's just like it's not worth the time or the money in my opinion. And I mean,
No,
honest, I guess I probably don't deserve to speak because I'm a person who doesn't play Pokemon anymore and doesn't care about Pokemon anymore. But I
no,
do.
but I mean, you come from a place where like you still somewhat care
Yeah,
about the game and everything, and you are smart enough to make kind of like, a cost benefit analysis.
yeah. I
So
love
you're
that
I think you have a very valid basis in which to form your opinion.
thanks. I appreciate that. I do think that documentary that I watched, it was like a mini YouTube documentary that it's a documentary that explains why like why Pokemon has unintentionally built themselves for failure, in the sense of like I mean Pokemon can't really fail, but it's basically explaining how, like, it's a mini documentary that explains like why they can't, like, as long as they keep creating more and more brand new Pokemon, they can't keep trying to include every single monster in every game. And I mean the documentary explains more than just that. Like, it explains a lot of stuff. It actually, it's really good because it explains like it explains how the company functions on a financial perspective, as well as like a technical perspective, a programming perspective, and all the problems that they have to deal with on a regular basis to like make the Pokemon games. Um, and I heavily agreed with it. It was just that it's they've kind of like unintentionally built a monster that they're constantly having to feed in order to be able to succeed every time they create a new game. And the problem is too is that like Pokemon fans are ravenous. Like, they are like, they're like, where, like, they're like, well, I demand that you show me all the new monsters, and I need to have like a whole entire Pokedex's worth of new monsters. But if you're going to do that, you need to make sure that you have every other Pokemon that's ever existed in every game that I play. And like, also, every game needs to have every mechanic that every game has ever had before, as well as every game that goes into the future needs to have new mechanics as well. And it's just like, man, dude, it's come on. like like come on, man. And then also the thing is too is like people are like, well, they never changed the formula, and it's like, well, the thing is that like when they stray away from the formula, they don't do as well. Like, they don't succeed as well, and they've tried it before. Like, I mean, like, you have like your mystery dungeons, and you have your like Pokemon Ranger, and you have your there's other stuff out there too, Pokemon Pinball. You know what I mean? So like, they can't, when it comes to like main franchises, it's like they experiment with the other side games, but the side games that they experiment with never do as well as the main franchise. And it's because they have that formula that's so reliable that people are so used to and comfortable with. And I mean, my personal tastes have grown past that formula, but that doesn't change the fact that that formula still works with so many people that really enjoy it. And that's where the
Yeah,
money is. That's where the money is.
yeah. I mean, yeah, that's where it is. It's just uh, I could I would much rather see something more interesting than Pikachu in that dumb kind of blank uh, stare that Pikachu does these days. Remember when Pokemon was sprite based, and
Yeah.
every gen Pikachu had like this really excited kind of like I'm Pikachu, and he looked excited to be Pikachu.
I miss Fat
And
Pikachu.
yeah, and now that he's a 3D model, he
He's
just
like
looks so lifeless and dumb.
he's like a husk. He's like, "Ugh." I can imagine him like smoking a cigarette. Pika Pika, Pikachu. He's like, Pikachu, Pika Pika. Oh, Pika Pikachu. Oh, I gotta pay my alimony, Pikachu. uh, yeah, man. I don't know. I mean, I can appreciate the idea that you know that Pokemon still pleases people. And I mean, like, I gotta give them one thing, okay? At least they're not, you know, destroying and self-cannibalizing their own company due to their own greed, like some companies that I've seen recently. Just gonna go ahead and put that out there. It's not.
Definitely not putting an accusatory eye towards Wizards of the Coast right now, are we?
No, why would I do that? I don't even
No,
know what you're talking about.
no. That's Wizards of the Coast is a brave and strong who done do no wrong.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm going to say that, Nintendo and Game Freak, they're not like the pinnacle of entertainment businesses. They're definitely not. Like, they're not perfect. They're not like absolutely like the godsend of video game companies. But at least they're not greedy, disgusting bastards, like trying to gouge their fan base on a regular basis over stupid bullshit that's gonna, by sending them defective products, all right, I'll stop. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, companies that aren't Wizards of the Coast.
No, why would I be pointing the finger at Wizards of the Coast? Why would I do that? Yeah.
Yeah, no, because I don't know.
Yeah.
Because you're a mean, hateful person who don't know what you're talking about. I don't know.
That is genuinely a company that makes me so fucking angry. Like, that is like I hang out in Cinder Shadow's streams, and like, luckily Magic is not like the focal point of his channel, thank God. And that's why I like hanging out there. But it comes up, and I try so hard to not get so goddamn angry whenever I have to, like, read chats that are about Magic and then listen to him respond to those chats talking about Magic. And it's okay. Cinder Shadow, who never listens to the podcast unless, he's actually in the podcast. Listen, I know you're definitely probably not here, but I'm going to act like you are here right now. It's okay. You can talk about Magic. I know that your subscriber base likes to talk about Magic. It's okay. I understand that. But goddamn, like, I can't, like, I have to, like, I can't go hang out with Mike Hatcher anymore because hearing about Magic makes me so angry. I can't, like, hang out, and chat with the people that hang out in Mike Hatcher streams because they want to, like, talk about Magic. And I love those people. I think they're great people. They have kind hearts, and they're good people, and there's nothing wrong with them at all. But listening to people talk about Magic makes me so goddamn angry. So I have to, like, purposely go out of my way to, like, not involve myself with it. And here I am talking about it. So clearly I'm not doing a very good job. So there you go. But, Pokemon doesn't do that. Pokemon doesn't make me angry.
Like, no, Pokemon. It's just you realize it's not for you, and you kind of walk away.
Yeah, exactly, and that's okay, man. That's okay.
Whereas Wizards is like, we're too good for you.
Yeah,
which has you'll eat our poopy caca and love it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that just makes any reasonable person angry.
Did you see the short I did?
I did. It was very, very passive aggressive. Very.
Thank you, sir. May I have another? I had to get that out there, man. Like, that's why I made that. Like, people were like, dude, are you okay? And I'm like, I just had to get it out there, man. I'm sorry. I had to do it. I had to get it out there. That's how I feel, man.
Again, I understand. No, I know where you're coming from. I saw this and I was like, oh, that's catharsis for him. I bet he felt good for a whole 2 hours while that thing was uploading.
Oh man, that made me feel good for a couple days. Like I was like, yeah, finally I get to say like I've made that joke like the thank you sir may I have another. I've made that joke so many times, but I feel like every time I've said it or like, typed it, it's never quite landed. And I'm like, no, I have to like actually get the material that it comes from. And I have to edit it. And I need people to see this so that they understand what I'm talking about when I say, thank you, sir. May I have another? Oh, man. Yeah, but that did make me feel a lot better. It really did. But yeah. Wizards of the Coast is a garbage company and everything they produce is garbage. Don't buy it. That's all I'm going to say. There we go. Oh.
What he said.
Huh?
I said what he said. Brought to you by Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah, God, you know what? I wish. Something that I wanted to like kind of talk with you about, but I kept forgetting multiple times is so like I really enjoy Triangle Strategy and I want to play it more and stream it more. But I do have a problem with
Do it. It's not a very entertaining stream.
No, I mean, I don't mind streaming it. Like, I mean, whatever the game lacks in, I can just yuck it up. I mean, that's what I've been doing with every
Well,
stream.
no. Well, no. The problem is the way you play it kind of buries you into the game.
A little bit.
And you definitely have a community that's used to your interaction.
I could see that, yeah. My major issue...
You're kind of spoiled.
Yeah, my major issue with Triangle Strategy is it's so much dialogue. Like, I love a game with a lot of story, and like, but the thing is that like one of the best ways to like, I mean, it's okay to like sit down and stop the player and tell a story. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But one of the issues that I have is that good story in gameplay, like good story in video games, is told through not only sitting down the player and talking to them, but also telling the story through the environment and the gameplay itself. And from the 3 streams that I've done with Triangle Strategy, it feels like it really struggles with that. Like, really, really struggles. Like, it wants to constantly sit me down and tell me something instead of letting me like experience the story. You know what I mean? And that's
no, it definitely, that was one of the things I noticed in the demo. Is there's not a lot of natural storytelling.
Yeah.
It's exposition dump. You're sitting outside of a battle. You got to find the exposition to be dumped upon, and then maybe you can go into play in the gameplay.
Well, because like, so every stream that I've done of Triangle Strategy, I get like one battle. You know what I mean? I get one battle, and then like, and I'm streaming for like 2 hours. You know, like I'm streaming the game for like 2 hours, sometimes like almost 3 hours. One of them's like almost 3 hours long. I get like one battle, and then it's like 2 hours of like 2 to 2.5 hours of just storytelling, which is like, it's obvious that Triangle Strategy has a really interesting story. Like, it does. I like it. It's interesting. But like, I want to play a game. Like, you know what I mean? I want to play.
Yeah, we're playing game. We're not reading book.
Exactly. And that's been like my one issue with Triangle Strategies, because like I'm a little hesitant to like come back to it. Like, I want to, but like, it's like, you know, like, I mean, it's so difficult because I want to like, you know, hang out with the audience and have a good time and like read, like, I don't mind reading the stuff, but I want to like play the game. I want to experience it. Like, I want to play tactics. That's like why I wanted to play
Yeah,
Triangle Strategy. I want to play Tactics. Let
yeah,
me play Tactics, you know?
yeah. Tactics was even half as dialogue dense,
No. Well, but
or
the
at the
thing,
very least, they let the story tell out in the battle dialogue.
that's what I was literally about to say is in the Tactics games, like you would they would give you like a little bit of exposition, like you're like the guy would come up to you and he'd be like, "Hey, like you're the guy of this clan and this is what I think and like this is what's going on. We must fight." And then you start fighting. And then like in the middle of battle, they would pause for like a second and be like, "Hey, why are you doing this? Like let me give you some exposition as to what's going on. Okay, let's fight again. Like we're still fighting." And like we keep fighting, and then you get to the end right before you kill the guy, and he's like, "No, like this is what was happening. Why are you doing this? I will be avenged by like my partner who will come and hunt you down." And then you kill the guy. So like they told the story during the gameplay, like, you know, and like that's what it should be, you know? I don't know. It's like I want to come back to it, but at the same time, it's like if I'm gonna sit there in front of a camera doing like 2 hours of dialogue, I don't know. I really don't know about it. You know what I mean?
It's
Mm,
tough.
yeah, it is. Oh, I've been having a good time with Skyrim though, especially because like that's like doing like Vigilant kind of like allowed me to also kind of reflect on that concept of like triangle strategy, because like Vigilant was very like, we're not just going to give you exposition, you've got to play and you've got to win and then you earn your story, you know. And I was like, I like that. Like I like the fact that I have to like be good at the gameplay to have the right to earn the storytelling. That's awesome. Like, you know what I mean? Um, and that's what kind of allowed me to kind of reflect on triangle strategy a bit more, where it was like, you're just feeding me your, you know, your exposition dumping on my face, you know, like for 2 hours. And then I get one battle, which lasts like 20 minutes. So I don't know. It's weird. I mean, you know, like when you were watching, I know that I think you came into one of the triangle strategy streams, right? Like at least one of them. I can't remember, but
Yeah, yeah. No, I watched one and it didn't see battle anything.
yeah. I mean, from what you saw
I
from,
missed. I missed the battle.
yeah, well, like it's like 2 hours and I only get to have one battle. Like based on what you saw, like would you want to play that? You know what I mean?
I played the demo.
Oh, you did play the demo, but I mean, how'd you
I
feel
played
about it
the.
from the demo?
It was paced. The pacing was very much a slog.
Yeah. Well, I mean, once I'm actually in the fights, like it feels like tactics, which is great, you know? But like,
It's just that hour and a half you spend in between fights.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Well, it was funny because I
You
had
know what tactics. You know what tactics did very well.
what?
Like like there was the big fights, the ones that took like a half hour,
Yeah.
and then there was like the 15-minute like fights that were dialogue heavy,
Yeah, sure. Yes.
where they told the story.
Yeah.
That's what triangle strategy needs. They need to fit more of the story into conflicts
Yeah.
that could be played out in the tactics gameplay.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree with that. I think that that's something that they should work on. It also makes me really nervous about Octopath Traveler too. You know what I mean? Because I mean, it I haven't played the first Octopath Traveler, and people tell me like it has, you know, some problems. And then I played Triangle Strategy, which I was super hyped about. Like I wouldn't shut up about Triangle Strategy, you know? And like now I'm playing it and I'm like, ooh. Ooh, you know what I mean? Cuz the gameplay's great, but like I have to spend like 3 hours before I get to the gameplay, you know? And so that makes me really nervous about like, cuz people are kind of hyped about Octopath Traveler too. And you know, having heard people talk about the first one and then also experiencing what I've experienced from Triangle Strategy so far, it's like I don't know. Like I don't know, like can these guys like do this? Like, can they get their shit together? Like, I don't know. I mean, are these games successful? Lettuce, do you know if they're like if they're successful with Octopath Traveler and Triangle Strategy and stuff like that? Like, have they been able to?
I didn't. I I don't. I mean, exceptionally successful. No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like if
Uh, I mean, SquareSoft. Problem is SquareSoft has a very skewed version of, or at least they used to, of what is successful or not.
yeah.
Simply because they had to, for a lot of the money that they dumped into stuff, they needed things to, pull out.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Are they working on any big projects right now besides, Octopath Traveler 2 or whatever? Wait, is Octopath? Wait, does Squaresoft
Yeah,
do
no,
these games?
they SquareSoft uh, Business Unit 3.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, this is a sub development. This is like a tertiary team in Square Enix.
Okay. Are they working on any Final Fantasy stuff or anything like that? I feel like that's
I
probably
mean,
what
they've
everybody's
got they've
talking
got
about.
they've got Final Fantasy 16 in the pipe.
Hmm.
Lord knows when that'll drop, though.
Is 16 supposed to be an MMO or is it like an actual RPG?
It's an actual RPG made by the people who made Final Fantasy 14.
14 was the MMO.
The
Okay.
MMO. Yeah,
So
14 was
so
the
in other
MMO.
words, they have the team that developed the MMO, but they're making a normal RPG, is what you're saying.
Yeah, they're making Final Fantasy 6. The team uh, that made Final Fantasy 14 is the team that's making Final Fantasy 16.
That's interesting. Do we have any like information on what it's going to look like? Any spoilers? Any previews?
But yeah, no. There's actually
Oh,
been a large
that's
information dump recently.
that's right. That's the one that had all of the Aeons, right? The humans turning into the Aeons, and they showed like Shiva and like the main character is supposed to transform into Ifrit. Is that what it was?
I don't know. I haven't actually seen the latest trailers and whatnot.
I think that's what it was. I think I saw that. I think I saw that. It was like the idea is it's supposed to be like a war of the Aeons, but like the Aeons are like humans who transform into the Aeons. And like I think if I am remembering correctly, the main character is supposed to be possessed by Ifrit, and he transforms into Ifrit. I swear I remember that. I'm pretty sure. And I remember because I was even saying like, oh, I wonder if this is like based on the Aeons from like Final Fantasy 12, which have all this crazy lore and shit to them. God, when are they gonna? I swear to God, they better put Kuklane in there. Kuklane is my favorite Aeon. Put him in there. I miss the fat bastard. Where is he? That green skinned fat bastard that's impossible to kill. Bring him back. Bring him back. I miss him.
I don't know how possible that is, my dude.
What, you mean specifically Kuklane or what?
Yeah.
Oh, Kuklane was the best. He was my favorite. That green fat bastard. He was amazing. You couldn't kill him. You couldn't kill him. He had he was always healing himself and your party all the time. And he specialized in non-elemental magic. So like he could always hit everything with high damage, and whenever your team was in trouble, he would always automatically heal everybody. He was so good. He's such a powerful Aeon. I miss him. So good. Uh it's funny. This is the first beer I've had in like a week of like quite some time, and it's hitting me pretty hard. I'm actually realizing it's hitting me pretty hard right now. Because I got all excited about Kuklay and I can feel it all rushing to my head right now. Hoo-hoo. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. What do you think of? Oh, go ahead.
Just lamenting tomorrow is going to be fun.
Yeah, what are you doing tomorrow?
Well, there's a good chance I'm driving to camp tomorrow because their whole network is not responding to the dashboard.
Ah, I see.
So I've got to fix that at some point.
Mm-hmm.
That is not something I'm looking forward to doing. That's a 50-piece reinvite right there.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That sounds not fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to read like 60 pages worth of documentation and then do a review on it and then take a test, which is going to suck. And then I have to study for another test to get a license so that I could be properly set up for my new job, which is going to really suck. Like, setting up is so, like, I mean, the job isn't going to suck, but trying to study for all this stuff to get this license so that I can do my job properly for this online job that I'm trying to do is very, very obnoxious because I am a terrible studier and I am a terrible tester. So I have to like push myself into overdrive to try and get this shit done. It's driving me absolutely insane and I'm not excited about it. And I have to like do an online test where I'm going to be like on camera in front of like a bunch of people who have to like watch over my computer and watch over me while I nervously take a test that I super don't want to do, but I have to do. You know what I mean? So, blech, blech. It's all for my new job that I'm doing. That I'm trying to get all set up for and do properly. And then on top of that, I don't even know, so I have to like also look into some other work elsewhere on top of that. It's driving me crazy, man. It's driving me crazy. I just want to be a popular, famous streamer. That's all I want to do. I just want to sit.
You want to be the influencer.
I want to be the guy who sits in front of a camera and plays games all day. I'm not afraid to admit it, man. That's like the dream. I just want to like make good content and have wonderful people come and watch me. And I just want to do that for the rest of my life. But it's not that simple, man. It's not that simple. But yeah. The cool thing is though is that I've made some new friends online that are really cool. Like some I've made friends with some really cool people recently that are like online influencers who were just like really nice to me. There's this one guy who I've gotten to be friends with. He's a really interesting person. I actually really enjoy talking with him, and like the whole it's so I've become friends with a VTuber, and he's really cool. He's a guy VTuber. He's not a lady VTuber. But I've made friends with this guy named Manic the Manic Mechanic, and he's a VTuber he's doing pretty good. He's got like 4,000 subscribers. And what happened was I don't even remember how I stumbled onto him. I think what happened was I met him through somebody else, I think, on Twitter. I think I actually met him through Pink Peacock originally. I think that's how I originally met him. And who, you know, obviously Pink Peacock doesn't really want to hang out with me, but that's okay. It's okay.
Well, you're a smelly dummy face.
Yeah. Hey,
he doesn't like hanging out with me either, so
it's all good. Like, you know, Pink Peacock, in all honesty, you live your best life, dude. It's all good. I ain't even mad.
No, we get it.
Yeah.
No, we get it. Depression is a bitch.
Yeah,
We all suffer from it,
sure.
so we know what's up.
But I think it was Pink Peacock that I met Manic through. And originally what happened was he started posting, he's a VTuber, and he started posting just like really funny and interesting tweets. And so I started noticing, I was like, oh, I kind of like what this guy says. So I would like kind of like, like some of his stuff and respond to some of his stuff here and there. And then one day after doing that a few times, he just started following me. And I was like, oh, okay, like he says some interesting stuff, so I'll follow him back. So I've been following him for I think like a few months now. And like I get into conversations with him every once in a while. Super nice guy. It's obvious when because I've actually come into some of his streams and I've watched some of his videos now. And he's an interesting dude. He talks about all sorts of things. He talks about like, Twitter news every once in a while and talks about new games and stuff. And I really like his tweets. I think my favorite part of what he does is I love his tweets. So I love reading his tweets all the time. And he puts out good content. He told me that he recently has watched some of my streams and some of my videos, which is very kind. And I also subscribed to him when he was trying to get to 4,000 subscribers, which I think he did at this point. And there was one night where he was super nice and he contacted me. So when Cinder Shadow was doing his 25-hour charity stream, which I love helping him out with that, and I love participating and because it's a good cause and he does it for the children, and I always want to support that. When Cinder Shadow was doing his 25-hour long charity stream, Manic contacted me. He's like, "Hey, dude, like, I'm doing a stream where I'm going to have a bunch of smaller YouTubers come on and hang out with me. Do you want to join me? Because I know you have a channel and you like to." You do your podcasts and you do your streams. And I was wondering if you wanted to come in and hang out with me and my audience and chat with me. And I was like, oh, like, I really, really want to join you. And that sounds super fun and awesome. But I am right now in the process of supporting my friend Cinder Shadow, who's doing a 25-hour charity stream. And I told him about it. And he was like, oh, like, that sounds really interesting. Like, tell me more. And so I kind of was like, okay, well, here's the link to Cinder Shadow's stream. He's doing it for, a children's hospital who also, helped his own kid. And I really want to support that because it's a really good cause and all that stuff. And so I shared Manic all the information. And he was super nice. And he's like, listen, that sounds like a super awesome cause. And I really want to support your friend Cinder Shadow as well. I'm doing my stream tonight. I want to redirect my audience to your friend Cinder Shadow's stream when I end it. Can I do that? And I was like, oh my God, that would be amazing. Like, he would love it. Right. So I was super excited to get, Manic's, audience to come in and support Cinder Shadow's charity stream. I was super excited about it. But what was super unfortunate, where it got into a big mess, is so Cinder Shadow would end his stream to kind of break it up into pieces so that YouTube could properly accept it. Because if he doesn't take breaks every 4 or so hours and breaks up the stream, YouTube won't save his VOD. So he has to break it up into pieces. And it just so happened that literally right when he decided to break up his stream into so that he could make a VOD of the previous one and then start the next stream was at exactly the same time that Manic ended his stream and redirected everybody to Cinder Shadow's stream. So he ended up redirecting his entire audience into a VOD instead of into the stream. And it was super unfortunate. But
maybe some of them figured out what was going on and
I kind of hope
jumped
so.
into the new one.
Yeah. So yeah, but anyways, like, Manic is, I don't know if he listens to the podcast, but he's a super cool dude that I've been following lately, and his content is great, and he's a great tweeter. I love his tweets, which is how I was introduced to him. So he's a great dude, and kind of want to do some streams or videos with him at some point. It seems like he's interested in wanting to make content with me, which I'm kind of super excited to do at some point if he's interested.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, I don't know how you're feeling, but I'm thinking, maybe we should wrap up. Wrappy up.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. I think it's good time.
Yeah, man.
To wrap up.
Okay. Is there anything else you wanted to say before we kind of finish this off? Any end thoughts or end notes or anything like that?
No. I get Pokemon on Thursday. I'll probably play a lot of it on Friday when my kid gets here, and maybe next podcast I'll let you know whether or not it was worth what little hype I have for
it. All right, man. That sounds pretty good. I'm down for that. Well, anyways, I think we're going to wrap it up and see if I still remember how to do this. If you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe. We greatly appreciate it. Go and check out Lettuce. Every once in a while, on a very rare condition, he will do a stream. So go ahead and subscribe to Lettuce. If I remember correctly, I have his link down below. So go and check him out. Check out in the doobly-doo down below for all the wonderful links. PayPal, Streamlabs, all donations are greatly appreciated. Patreon members, we love you. We love you, Patreon members. I did mention Twitter a few times. I do have my my Twitter information down below, so if you want to follow me on Twitter, go for it. Is there any... Oh, the Teespring. We have Teespring merch. We have Teespring for the Imaginary Boys. We have Teespring for other things, so check that out as well. And feeling like that's pretty much the majority. Did I cover it all, Les? Do I sound like I covered it all? Does that sound pretty good?
Yeah, no. It sounds like we're good to go.
All right, man. Well, other than that, which I think we're pretty thorough on at this point, we have been the Imaginary Boys. Good night, everyone.